622 of Speech Weavers Toastmasters Club, Bangalore. If someone says you are misfit in any aspect of life, you need not to worry about it. Take out some time and discover what passion and what really fascinates about you. Then work on it, give 100% in that. Over a period of time, definitely you will realize you are worth of it, and rather than misfit. To begin with, to reach great heights, we all should have a clear mission. Likewise, Toastmasters' mission is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership. And all our club meetings, we follow few guidelines. Please do not talk about sex, religion, and politics. If you are not a speaker, keep your microphone muted at all times. For better experience, keep your video on at all times unless you are moving in and out of the room. As an encouragement to all our role takers and speakers, make sure you upload them virtually. Now it's time to introduce our club president, who is for as many aspirations to reach great heights. In his free time, he likes to read books and cycling. His past roles include VP membership and immediate past VP education. Now, let's welcome our club president, Toastmaster Mayur, with a big round of applause. Toastmaster Mayur. Over to Toastmaster Mayur.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sushma, for a wonderful introduction.
Great.
Quite in the well.
Good, sir.
Quite in the well, I said.
Okay. So today, as our theme is midfit, I know many of you thinking it's a very small word and very different from some other words. Tare Jami Par or Lakshya. In that movie, there was a character of Darshil who was a very different child. So how you find yourself, and you in that way you can be a different person also. Like he was drawing, he was interested in drawings and all, but if you see him studying, he was a very different child. So that similarly we are also, we can we some people or some childrens are different from the others, so we have to follow our dreams. Now I would like to first of all open our meeting and calling it on to orders. Meeting number 622 open, and today I have some announcement to make. Tomorrow we will be having a table topic Olympics with a club from USA known as Afterburner Clubs, and we are collaborating with them. And this event will be facilitated by Toastmaster Deepa. She is our immediate past president. So Deepa, do you have that video you have created so you can share with our guests and members?
Yes, Mayur, I'll do that right away. Please feel the adrenaline. One, two, three, and here we go. Hope you heard it. And I hope you're all excited about it. I invite all the guests. I'll put the registration link in the chat box.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Deepa, for a wonderful video. I hope guest and member will join tomorrow with large number and take participation in table topics. With various abilities, like it will get difficulty will get increase in that tomorrow meeting. So first you will get easy, then medium kind of table topic and hard ones for the pros. So please join tomorrow and see you there. Now I would like to invite our joke master for the day, as she might be doing for the very less number of time because she was uh, busy with presidential address most of the time in last 6 months. I invite Toastmaster Deepa to deliver her and entertain us with some good jokes. Over to you, Toastmaster Deepa.
Thank you to Toastmaster and President Mayur. Welcome to the Sit Down comedy show of Deepa. I am born to a mother who cannot laugh at the most laughable joke, to a father who can laugh at every silly joke but can't make one decent joke, and to a brother who watches comedy clippings all the time and he too cannot make a joke. And I have the same, very same genes, ladies and gentlemen. And today, me being the joke master today, has to be the biggest joke of the day. I'm going to be trying to amuse you with some of my findings at online meetings. Don't you all think that people have begun to lie a lot more in virtual meetings? We've all been in so many online Toastmasters meetings. That is one thing I noticed all the time. Just recently, I saw some person, a Toastmaster, who was not prepared for a speech. It happens. Even I have been in his place. But he didn't accept that. He had the script on his computer and he was reading it like he was memorized it from his heart. And he was going like this, left to right, right to left, left to right. And he didn't know that he was doing that. Hello, if you are somebody who's doing that, we all see it. We can know it. So don't do it. Just own it. Just tell, I haven't memorized my script, or I'm not ready. I'm going to just take the help of my lovely PC in front of me. Own your lie, Toastmasters and friends. Scenario number 2. How many of you here are brave enough to confess that you're wearing your pajamas or something different from what you're wearing on top? Raise your hands, please. There you go. Very good. For those who didn't raise your hand, please be brave enough to show your camera a little down so that we can have some proof that you're all. Oh, a lot of people there. Great. It comes with a risk, you know, Toastmasters. It comes with a risk. You cannot hide it. I had been to a meeting a couple of months ago, and the table topics master was so confident that nobody will unearth his secret. He was enjoying throwing the most difficult topics to the most miserable audience. Guess what happened? His mobile phone fell down and he had to pick it up. Impulse, reflex, and everybody got to see his boxers. It comes with a risk. Please note. Third scenario. Last time, I all taught you a technique. If you are in the table topic segment and you are chosen and you don't know how to answer the question, or that topic didn't make any sense to you, you don't know where to start, where to begin, what do? I told you all, unmute yourself and just make lip movements. And the Zoom master will come and say, hey, this person's audio is not working. Let's shift to the next speaker. Didn't I tell you that? But sometimes people can't use that technique. So they go back to the safer one and they unmute themselves and they say, this. I'm sorry, I'm not able to hear you clearly. Something is wrong with my computer. And suddenly, out of the blue, somebody in the audience just came up. This really happened. And that person said, "Hey, can you hear us now?" And this person goes, "No, I cannot hear you. If you're lying, be good at lying." Mr. President.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Deepa, for wonderful scenario you have shared with us and made us laugh. Now, I would like we are looking, members can nominate themselves if they are interested in taking associate VP PR role. And now I would like to also acknowledge our guests today who are joining us, Toastmaster Preeti, Siddharth Shah, and Tomoko. I would like to also acknowledge DTM Raj Bansal for taking a general evaluator role today. So, and our area director, Toastmaster Rajesh also. I will acknowledge the presence of Rani Jyoti Pahava. Thank you so much for joining us today. Now, I would like to invite our Toastmaster of the day, who will explain us what it is in the box of Misfit he has. So he is the guy joining us from Delhi, and he is a sports management professional looking at corporate affairs in Baichung Bhutia Football often with friends. I know he travels a lot with friends and enjoy their company. Please welcome Toastmaster Bidhu. Toastmaster Bidhu, over to you.
To all the kids down there, I was once a child looking up to the stars. Now I am an adult in the spaceship with lots of wonderful adults accompanying me. To the next generation, if we can do this, you all can also do this. Good evening, rising Toastmasters and my dear guests. Please forgive me for this attempt to showcase what it feels like to be in space. But these were the words of the British millionaire, Richard Branson, last week when he was in space on his Virgin Galactic spaceship, talking to everyone on Earth. There he recollected his memory as a child, what he dreamt of. But as a child, he also had one more thing. He was severely dyslexic. Now, in his school, which accompanied a lot of English and a lot of arithmetic skills, he failed miserably at there. He was different, or may I tell you, he was a misfit there. In the conventional definition of misfits are defined as people who do not fit in with a particular group of majority, or they fit in very badly in a particular situation. Among all the Toastmasters here, I'm sure some of us are very familiar to such kind of feeling. And to the rest, I assure you and warn you, if you live long enough, you will definitely encounter such a situation. As the program goes on in today's meeting, we will encounter lots of misfits and their journeys and how they strive to navigate such kind of situations. I can see a lot of new members and a few guests here, and for the benefit of them, I want to tell you a little bit about Toastmasters. Now, Toastmasters is an international organization founded in 1924. In the last 100 years, it has spread its wings across 145 countries. It has over 365,000 members and 60,600 clubs. Each club, like Speechweaver, is designed in a particular way. They meet every week or every 2 weeks once, and the entire meeting is structured into 3 halves. The first segment is a prepared speech segment, where people come with their prepared speeches and attempt different projects. The second segment is about table topic session, where we as a community give chance to the people to speak on an impromptu basis, to improvise on their speaking skills and think on their feet. And the last segment is the general evaluation segment, where the general evaluator evaluates us on every aspect of the meeting. Every role taker is actually judged and compared and given feedback upon. Now, there are people who construct the sphere of influence, and the next person has developed his sphere of influence over the last 2 decades. He has been constructing his legacy brick by brick, from the club to the district level. He holds the unique distinction of being the first ever distinguished Toastmaster from Infosys Limited. I know you know his name, or in the popular Hindi dialect, Naam to suna hi hoga. Our very own inspiring leader, a man of process, people, and perfection. Our immediate past district director, distinguished Toastmaster, Mr. Kumar Bansal. With such credentials, you will often doubt whether he had actually faced a situation where he was a misfit. But yes, he did face it once. Once he was watching a movie along with his cousins who were in a slightly younger generation. These people were shouting profanities at some Hindi dialogue. Now, he felt as a misfit, and being the dignified person he is, he chose to leave the hall silently and not stupefy them. Please welcome on your virtual screen with a big round of applause our general evaluator for today's meeting, Mr. Kumar Bansal.
Thank you so much, Bidhu, for that humbling introduction and that story of the misfit, which incidentally is true. Thank you so much, and a good evening to each and every member of Speech Weavers Toastmasters Club. Give yourself a huge round of applause, such that you generate energy, and if you're sleeping, you should wake up. You should clap till you wake up, and if you're sleeping, right? Because in my term as GE, you can't sleep. I'm watching every person, by the way, if you're on video. If you're not on video, good luck. Okay, so my role as a GE is like a school teacher in a classroom, right? I'm here to monitor the time of the start of this meeting till the meeting ends. So the class only ends when the teacher says it's end. I would be taking notes of various speakers who would come here and speak, starting from Sergeant at Arms, and also to the last person who comes just before my presentation starts. So every single person, I'm making notes of their speech, their good usage of words, and their speaking capabilities as well. I will be giving my report in the G section, the evaluation section, the third part of it, as Bidhu talked about. And we have a session of speeches, and I will be assisted by individual evaluators for those speeches. They will talk about it when that segment comes in. But for evaluate the overall speech or the meeting, we have 3 role takers, in fact, 4 role takers. We call them TAGL. T stands for timer. And with the timer, I would request timer to please come and share the role of the timer in today's meeting. Timer?
Yes. Thank you,
Yes.
General Evaluator. So, good evening, fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests. My role as the timer is to keep up time for the speakers to ensure that everyone speaks in their allotted time. This will also help me ensuring the meeting runs on time. To help me in doing this, I have 3 color cue cards with me. I will show a green card when the speaker hits qualifying time, a yellow card when a speaker hits a target time, and the red card when the speaker and the time is ended. Okay. For the prepared speech session, it is change 18 to 20 minutes, as I got to know. And then for the table topic session, it is 1 to 2 minutes. Grace period of 30 seconds will be given to each speaker speaking. And that was all from me. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Chetana. I would like you to clarify on the prepared speeches once again. We have speech 1, which is 5 to 7 minutes, and speech 2, which is 12 to 15 minutes. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
That is the agenda I have.
Yes.
So can you explain the green, yellow, and red for these 2 speeches, please?
Yes, and just a second, I'm noting down. A green card will be shown to the speaker one, that is 5 to 7 minute speech. That is a green card will be shown at 5 minutes, yellow card at 6. A grace period of given for the speaker 2 at 12 minutes. A green card will be shown. At 14 minutes, yellow card will be shown. At the end of 15 minutes, red card will be shown. So grace period of 30 seconds will be given to the speaker. I'll be changing my background for this as the timer. So please spotlight me when I start the time.
Thank you, Chetana, for that detailed, exhaustive update on the timer role. Timer role is very critical for all of us, as you know. Claim your role.
Yeah, thank you, that's, sir. We use filler words and crutch words while speaking, which impedes our speech effectiveness. So my role as an arc counter is to take note of such filler words by listening carefully to each speaker and note those filler words like and crutch words like slow, and, but, like. I'll also keep track of repetitive words the speaker uses and some long pauses, which also might affect the speech effectiveness. I will come back with my report when called upon at the end of the meeting. And till then, enjoy the meeting. Back to you, G.
Thank you, Aakash. I'm not sure whether I am not able to hear Aakash clearly or is everyone. Can one of you tell me?
There is a network.
Same here.
There is a network.
There was some disturbance.
No problem. Okay, let's go to the Grammarian Hitendra for his role. Hitendra, over to you.
Thank you, General Evaluator. I'm the Grammarian today, and I will be paying a close attention to all the speakers, listening them carefully, making a note of good and bad language usage, and I will provide my report towards the end of the day. As a grammarian, it is my duty to introduce word of the day as well. And today's word of the day is stupefy. That means make someone dull, stupid, or senseless. Usage can be something like I was stupefied by what I read, or I enjoy company of my stupefied friends after drink, so I get to know all the secrets since I don't drink. That's about it. I'll provide my report at the end of the day. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Hitendra, for that wonderful word of the day. I hope we'll get stupefied by the speakers who speak today and the table topic speakers as well. Okay, let's go to the last role taker, listener, which is Varsha. Varsha, over to you.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Good evening, everyone. I'm the listener for today's meeting. My role is to make, makes me the keenest ear of the club. During the meeting, I'll be making a note of few questions and at the end of the meeting, I'll quiz those questions and check if everyone were listening to the meeting. So over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Varsha. If I may ask what chocolates you're going to give us, if we are listening it properly.
We'll see at the end of the meeting.
Yeah, you
it
can
would
use
be
the
virtual chocolates, obviously.
Yeah, you can still virtual chocolates as long as we get something to have. That is some motivation for people to listen well, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much, all the role takers. I wish them all the best. Back to you, TMOD Bidhu.
Thank you so much. Since there was a delay with our counter, may I request our counter to just write your role in the chat box for the benefit of everyone if you have time. I mean, that can be definitely facilitated, right? So the first segment of our meeting today is the prepared speech segment. Our first speaker today is attempting level 4, project 4. To evaluate his speech, we have today one person, and I want him or her to just give me a raise of hand in the video so that I know who is the person evaluating our speaker 1. All right, I can see Toastmaster Vandana evaluating. So Toastmaster Vandana, please read out the objective for speaker 1. Over to you, Toastmaster Vandana.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Good day, Toastmaster Bidhu. The purpose of today's project that the speaker will be delivering is for the member to learn about different communication styles and identify his or her primary style. The purpose of the speech is for the member to share the impact of this style on their style on others. Ideally, it should not be a report of the content of understanding your communication style, and the speech may be humorous, informational, or any style the member wishes to choose. The timer, once again, it's 5 to 7 minutes. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you. So our first speaker is a very special person. She is a master of many trades. She likes painting and is a lifelong learner. She endeavors to be a nutritionist, and she extends her passion by focusing on healthy cooking. She has also started a YouTube channel called as Sushma Cooking Show. So Toastmasters, please do like, subscribe, and comment on her channel. I'm sure many times she has faced the situation of a misfit, especially when she is trying to compete with the millennials in the YouTube segment. When I ask her how she faces such kind of situation, she recommends a couple of steps to deal with the situation. She says, be positive, look for solutions, stick to your own passion, and create your own journey. Toastmasters, please welcome our first speaker, Toastmaster Sushma, speaking on the topic, communication styles. Communication styles, Toastmaster Sushma.
Once again, good evening, Toastmasters and dear guests. Good communication skills and having your own style of communication, it plays a vital role in today's globalization. Your own style of communication, it has power in it. It is so powerful that it can influence, motivate, encourage, and can change someone's lives as well. We are in digital and competitive era. It has become essential for everyone, right from fraudsters to CEOs, to acquire good communication skills and able to recognize your own style of communication and should be able to use depending upon the situation demands. It is very much important for everyone to know different kinds of communication styles and what it shows impact on you. It helps in various ways. It helps to connect with people around, improve socialization, foster team building, and many more. Coming to core topic, communication styles. We have different kinds of communication style. It doesn't matter what you say. It matters a lot how you interpret your message. Coming to the first communication style, assertive communication style. In this category, those who use this kind of communication style, they will be able to express their desires, needs, opinions very openly. They're confident, kindly, friendly, and respectful, motivates, encouraging many more. They are goal achievers, and in turn, they can become successful leaders. For example, team members, they are doing strategic planning. One of the member who has this kind of communication style very openly express, I disagree over this decision making. If we follow this approach, we might not be successful in executing our project. This is the assertive style of communication. This is very healthiest and considered to be effective communication style. When to use this style? When you know, you are very well aware, relationships as well as finding solution is equally important. And considering both opinions, you are protecting your rights as well as other people's rights, coming to conclusion and finding the solution. That is communication style. As the name says, communicators who use this kind of communication style, they are aggressive and angry in nature, bossy, dominant. They like to put down others. They cannot become goal achievers. They cannot become successful leaders. They cannot respect others because they cannot handle their emotions very well. For example, when a new joinee approaches boss who has this kind of communication style says, I set the expectation before I even start working. So please don't say any excuses. We have to execute this project by so and so date. That is how he executes. He uses this kind of communication style, that is aggressive communication style. Moving on to third communication style, that is passive and aggressive communication style. In this category, communicators, those who use this kind of communication style, they were a beautiful mask on their face. That is, have aggressive communication style. We come across many people in society like that. For example, passive communication, your friend, she hurts you, your feelings very badly. Those who has this kind of a communication style, they deal very friendly, but at the same time, backside, they do many things about their friend, backbiting, all those. But it is very useful in situations like this can be best implemented where you know that relationship is important and aggressive nature, you keep it aside. At the same time, you have to deal aggressive person very friendly. And so that is how we use this kind of communication style. Moving on to passive communication style. In this category, communicators, they may not be able to express their opinions, needs, desires very openly. They fail to say, they they will not have ability to say no. For example, for example, your for example, you like members are doing strategic planning, and if he has to disagree over the decision, he might not be able to express. He thinks it is okay, easygoing person, because he is easygoing person, he thinks that it is okay, I'm happy, whatever the decision, let them take. So when it comes to recognizing my own passive communication style, I come under passive communication style, and it has shown a lot of impact on me. I suffered a lot because of lack of ability to say no. At workplace, I have suffered from my colleague, those who used to put lot of blame on me, and I have to take lot of tasks because of this nature. I'm working on my communication style to become partly passive communicator as well as assertive communication style. I would conclude by saying I'm not responsible how people interpret their message, my message, but certainly I'm responsible how I communicate, whether my actions are very transparent, clear or not. Yes, over to TMOD.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sushma. May I request all the Toastmasters to give her a good round of applause by using that clapping icon in your Zoom? Or you can clap also. Thank you. So going to the next speaker, our next speaker today is attempting level 4, project 4. To evaluate his speech, we have today DTM Milind sir. May I request DTM Milind sir to read out the objective for speaker 1. Over to you, DTM Milind sir.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day, Bidhu. The speaker today is attempting his level 4, project 4. Prepare to speak professional speeches. The purpose of this particular project is for the speaker to practice developing and presenting a longer speech. Few notes to the evaluator. The speaker completing this project has been working to build the skill necessary to engage audience for an extended period of time. The speaker will deliver an engaging keynote style speech. The speech may be humorous, informational, or any style the speaker chooses. The speaker should demonstrate excellent presentation skill and deliver compelling content. And the speech should not be the content of Prepare to Speak Professionally project. I, as an evaluator, will highlight the areas where he excelled, the areas he can work on, and areas where he can challenge. And few pointers which has been highlighted in the evaluation sheet regarding number 1, clarity, the spoken language, whether it's clear and easily understood. Number 2, vocal variety, use tone, speech, and volume as tools. Eye contact, effective use of eye contact to engage audience. Gestures, use physical gestures effectively. Audience awareness, demonstrate the awareness of audience engagement and needs. Comfort level, appear comfortable with the audience. Interest, engage audience with interesting, well-constructed content. Speech content, the content is compelling enough to hold audience attention throughout the extended speech. Timer, please note, time allotted is 12 to 15 minutes. Over to Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Bidhu.
Thank you, DTM Milind sir. Now let me take a few minutes to speak a little bit about our second speaker, because he may be young and enthusiastic at heart, but he has a rich experience spanning over 83 years. In these many years, he has been able to accumulate humongous achievements across professional, personal, and even in his Toastmasters journey. In his professional life of 42 years, he has served in 2 countries, India and Saudi Arabia. While in India, he served for the government of Andhra Pradesh. Some of the notable mentions are construction of bridge canal and cross drainage work in Nagarjuna and Godavari project. In Saudi Arabia, his work included designing, reviewing, and supervising some power plants, power transmission section, and distribution network. He had even had the opportunity to meet and shake hands with the King of Saudi Arabia during this journey. Beyond his professional life, he spent time cultivating plethora of hobbies: lawn tennis, music, culinary arts, yoga as just few of them. His Toastmasters journey is also replete with multiple achievements. He has served as an SAA, Secretary, and VP membership. He has completed Pathway 4 and received Triple Crown. Over the past year, he has been moving in Kuala Lumpur, attending all Toastmasters meetings. Toastmasters, please welcome our second speaker, Toastmasters Joseph sir, speaking on the topic, Where Doctors Fail, Divine Intervenes. Where doctors fail, divine intervenes. Toastmasters Joseph sir.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Bidhu, for your beautiful expression of my assignments. Am I audible, visible? Hello, am I audible and visible?
Yes.
Okay. My son, what had happened to you? I had a sad face of sickness. I replied in a feeble voice, Pastor, I had a heart bypass in 1995. And this time again, the new grafted artery blocked 87%. Good evening, Toastmasters and distinguished guests. I was working as a consultant for civil works in Saline Water Conversion Corporation in Al-Khobar province, which is in the east coast of Saudi Arabia. It had a favorable climate all through the year. In 2007, as the work Jeddah, which is the west coast of the Saudi Arabia, the climate was very harsh compared to the eastern province, which was very cool. And especially outskirts of Jeddah, the project civil work executions were handled by the contractors' engineers who were novices. Being in charge of the project, I frequently lost my cool due to blunders committed by inexperienced novices as quality control was in jeopardy. So every test was too much for me sick. I went to a specialist hospital and consulted the doctors who were from London, advised for angiography after a cardiogram test. The angiography revealed the newly grafted artery was 87% blockade. The doctor examined the angiography results and declared that he cannot do any second bypass for me because the Indian art structure is very small to make a second bypass. However, the doctor advised me that you can go ahead on your medical. I firmly believed there ought to be some method of eliminating the blockade. Due to health reasons, end of the year 2007, I was transferred back to Al-Khobar. A project was waiting for me. That was the water supply system from Al-Khobar desalination plant to the Jubail city, which is 150 kilometers. The project started in full-fledged only in the middle of 2008. I tried to manage with my field staff the site work, and I tried to manage my engineering part in the office just to have a good health maintenance. While watching the television one evening, suddenly I came across a channel called Love World. This channel was telecasting the atmosphere of miracles from Johannesburg, Africa. It showed the healing school run by Pastor Chris. At the time I watched, a patient was sitting on a wheelchair, was brought into the healing school. The patient was hit by a bullet at the head, and he was almost senseless, stupefied, and did not respond much to his brother who was attending on him. He describes him as a bundle of vegetable. When the patient came for healing, all the while he was putting the head down, suddenly his head rose high when the pastor was approaching him. As the pastor came near to him, the patient gazed his eye right to the pastor's eye. And that was directly, the pastor prayed over each part of his body. And finally, when he touched the feet, he jumped out of the wheelchair and ran. After watching this miraculous healing, I determined to visit this healing school at any cost. There are different sessions being conducted in the healing school in a year. Accordingly, I have planned for one such session. With much effort, I explained to my chairman about my health, and I need vacation for 3 weeks to attend my healing school in Johannesburg, and was granted at once, seeing my condition. I immediately started procuring healing school permission letter to process visa, airline booking, and reservation for lodging in Johannesburg, all in one go. On April 2009, I and my daughter left for Johannesburg for healing school. Our company director, Mr. Marco, was a bounty of heart, agreed to bear the cost of traveling as well as the stay in Johannesburg. When we landed at the Johannesburg airport almost in the evening and were very tired of the 7.5 journey non-stop, we were picked up by our lodge personnel. The following morning, when I entered the healing school, I was so excited, a firm belief that I will be healed before I leave the school. The faith and hope I had was more positive in me, and I forgot that I am ill anymore. As a protocol, we have to register ourselves. My daughter came as a helper for me. All the sick persons, it was mandatory to bring one helper. The session was for 3 weeks. 2 weeks were classes on the Bible scriptures, followed by prayers of healing every day by the pastors. Besides, there was also screening of Pastor Chris' message on biblical chapters about the healing process and how Almighty in our lives intervenes so that our desires of healing is fulfilled ideally. The completion of the 2 weeks have ended and the 3rd week commenced. Then there was a different preparation of group-wise healing requirement, and it was being arranged. All the relevant instruction on how to obtain healing from the pastor is taught, and the responsibility to maintain our healing. The great day came, and everyone was anxiously waiting. We were all given the tag when healing is required for each one, and placard is handed over to all the people based on which the healing is done in different form. On the healing day, since I was to be healed on the artery block, it would be convenient for me, for the Pastor Chris to pray over me so that he put me on the stretcher. When my turn came, the pastor asked me the question which I mentioned in the beginning itself. Now asked me to inhale while stretching his palm over my face. I did inhale and healing was flowing through my inhalation process into my body. It happened twice. After, with the assistance of some volunteers, I was lifted up and made to stand on my feet, and then it blew over me and I fell unconscious. Again, I was lifted up by the volunteers and he again blew. Again, I fell unconscious and I was placed on the ground. A couple of minutes later, the pastor declared, I am healed. When I heard this, the next moment I ran to the central arena and started doing push-ups in order to test my strength, and then dancing and proclaiming, Jesus healed me. All those healed were dancing together in pairs. Even my daughter joined me. And sometime after that, we were asked to give the testimony, which were recorded, and finally a farewell speech was given by Pastor Chris, how to maintain our healing. In the meanwhile, I called my spouse in India for this miraculous healing, and I felt good energy in my body. My spouse was overwhelmed with happiness to feel my energy, communicating. The healing happened, and she thanked God for the same, and she felt a great, great joy. The following day, we attended the church. The service meant for all those who have been healed. On that night, we had a grand dinner in one of the famous restaurants located in an area called Mount Casino. We left for Saudi Arabia on 30th of April 2009. After visiting some places of tourist interest, we landed in the evening with a journey of 7.5 hours, which I never felt tired. That is the miracle. The next morning, I had to attend duty. Therefore, after breakfast, I drive to my office, which is located inside the desalination plant. The entry is maintained by security. Now we will hear the interesting part of the dialogues between me and the security. As usually, the the barrier always vertical, the stop barrier, because the lot of people were moving. When my car went to the security, he put down the barrier. He never did like that before. He came to me. He only talks in Arabic. He talked to me, Meninta, Veindro, who are you? Where are you going? Ana Mohandis, I am an engineer. Anaro Maktabul Mohandis, I am going to my engineering office. Sushma, Ven Batata, what is your name? Where is your identity card? Then I showed my identity card, and I'm Mohandis. And I Yusuf. In Arabic, they call Joseph as Yusuf. Then I gave it. He looked at me and the ID card. Then he looked at me and the ID card. Into Yusuf, yes. You into Koyas and Halian into Koyas, and mashallah. Yalla Rom on this from Maktab. That means you are a great man. You look very handsome to go and go to your office. Then again, I reached my chamber of the chairman. There I knocked at the door and said, Salam alaikum. Wa alaikum salam, he said. And then he asked me, what do you want? That was a very harsh way. And somehow I told him, sir, I am Joseph Benedict. How are you? You look very handsome today. So you are well healed, that means, yes, sir. Then he asked about all the stories of the healing school and all. And then I parted from him. I went again to my boss. There also I knocked the door. Salam alaikum, wa alaikum salam. What do you want? So everywhere this question, because they could not recognize my countenance. Before I go, I was very sick. Now I am bright and I would say myself handsome also, because of that situation. Party. He said, why not? Go ahead. Then I ordered for 11 kg of cake and soft drinks plenty, and they enjoyed. I declared during the meeting, that party, Jesus healed me. This is the privilege given to me because nobody can talk like that in Saudi Arabia, because they treat me as their own brother. That is how my privilege is in Saudi Arabia. Finally, all this happened and I was very happy. Then the conclusion I can give you is the leap of faith. When medical fails and the doctors give up faith, faith will come to our rescue. Then all that we have to do is to take a leap of faith. The following is the pictures indicating the healing school will be shown to you by one of our colleagues. The last thing I would like to say is, neither my wife nor my director is no longer living in this world anymore. Over to you, TMOD. But before that, there will be a picture shown by one of the. Deepa, can you show the pictures? That was the after healing. That is the venue of the healing venue. You can see the people. So one more person is healed, and he was on the wheelchair all the time. She was on the wheelchair for 15 years. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmasters. Thank you, Toastmasters Joseph, sir. Absolutely inspiring speech. As you're all giving it, I'll just give one more line to it. I have heard the quote that God helps those who help themselves. And I'm sure you are helping yourself as well in those tough journeys. A big round of applause from me also. Now we move on to the next segment, a very interesting segment of Speech Weavers meeting, the table topic session. Now to take you through the table topic session, we also have a very special person. By profession, he's a consultant at Sea Profit Wealth Management Private Limited. And he also is the director of a fintech company called Deepa Technology Private Limited. He joined Toastmasters in March because he identified he needed to improve and evolve in the domain of public speaking and leadership. When not into work, he watches a lot of football and also blogs about it. He also follows the latest trends in economics and finance. The uniqueness of this speaker is that he feels as if he's a misfit in every given situation. When I asked why, his response was, he goes to great lengths while striving to make people laugh, even in formal settings. Sometimes he ends up embarrassing himself, but still keeps going on at it because he cannot help his behavior. It has become or reached uncontrollable levels. So please welcome our table topic master for today, TM Adarsh, and see if he has some laughter for us in store. Over to you, Toastmasters Adarsh.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day, Bidhu, and greetings to all Toastmasters and guests. I'm Adarsh, and I'll be the table topic master for today. So what are table topics exactly? Now, let me answer that question by telling you that table topics are nothing but impromptu speeches that an individual has to talk about for at least two minutes or so. It has to be between 1 minute and 2 minutes. So I'll be assigning topics to each and every one of you, or the ones that are lucky enough to receive a topic today. And you'll be forced to talk about it for about 2 minutes today. Shall we proceed? I think our first table topic will go to Toastmaster Jyoti. Toastmaster Jyoti, are you ready for it? So
I'm ready.
Here's your topic. All right, that's nice to hear. It's great to hear from you. So here's your topic. Name one quality of yours that you believe separates you from the rest of the world. Let me repeat. Name one quality of yours that you believe separates you from the rest of the world.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Adarsh. In fact, you talked about one quality. May I please have the liberty of talking about two qualities? Because these two qualities I feel are very close to my identity, very close to myself. I feel generosity and compassion are two qualities that make me different from the crowd. That's what I feel. That's my perspective. But you know, it's not the same as other people think, because many a times I have seen when I am generous enough, then other people call me insane. They think that I am given to insanity and I am not worldly wise. And that is the time when I feel very happy to be myself, because I feel that I do not mind being treated as insane as long as I feel satisfied by looking at myself in the mirror. When it gives satisfaction to me, then it gives happiness as well. Now, my story of compassion is a bit unique and a bit weird, Toastmaster Adarsh, and I would really like to mention it. Somehow, it has so happened that I feel it's not only for human beings, but my heart gets connected with every living creature on this planet whose heart beats. Now, I am compassionate to the extent that I even pray for the lizard on my wall. I feel that if there's a lizard on the wall, I say that, okay, kindly leave the room or be a silent coexistent in my room. So, you know, it happened so that about 3 to 4 months ago, I had a lizard on the wall in this very study where I'm sitting. And I kept looking at the lizard, and then I named the lizard Jahazo. Now, Jahazo is actually a ship. Jahaz is a ship in Hindi. So I named that lizard Jahazo. And now, to me, every lizard that I see is Jahazo's relative. So I say, hello, Jahazo, how are you? I hope you're fine. Don't trouble me anymore. Let me only walk on the ground. Don't get to be seen on the ground. You better be there on the wall. So that's what makes me different, and I feel happy about it. As long as I feel happy about it, I don't care if the world sees me as an insane person. I hope I haven't gone beyond the limit of listening to what I had to say. So I close what I had to say. Over to you, Toastmaster Adarsh.
That was an excellent topic, Toastmaster Jyoti, and there was an excellent act of compassion from you. And I think I'd love to move on to the next speaker for today. So let me pick someone from the audience. I would request the guests to turn on their videos so that I and everybody can see you. All right then. We'll be moving on to Christopher Sequeira. Sir, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Sir, I think you'll be handed the next topic. And the topic will be, what was the one time you did something that the others refused to do? One time you did something that the others refused to do.
Well, I can't think of anything that offhand that I did that others refused to do. But if it comes to saying something, I remember when I joined Toastmasters for the first time. It was a new club. And hardly 8 months later, it was a time for the next term. And one of the members comes and tells me, will you be the president for the next term? And that was my journey into Toastmasters. I was straight away handed the charge of the club and to lead the club and make the club whatever distinguished and a good club. So it was a trying time for me, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the taking the responsibility of being a leader of the club and leading the club, even though I didn't know much about Toastmasters then. So it was an experience, and I gladly remember that. I think I did a very good job and accepted again if I had a chance. So thank you, and over to you, Table Master Adarsh.
That was an excellent talk. That was an excellent talk from a wonderful Toastmaster. It was an absolute pleasure to hear from you, sir. And now it's time for us to move on to the next speaker. And our next speaker will be Rani. Ma'am, am I audible?
Yes.
So the next topic clearly suits the theme of today's meet. It is about, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you what the question is so that you can understand what it is. So the question is, name one misfit that you admire and why. Let me repeat, name one misfit that you admire and why. And for the benefit of all the guests, a misfit is a person whose behavior or attitude sets them apart from the others in an uncomfortably conspicuous way.
Sorry, can you repeat what it is? Misfit means?
A misfit is a person that is different from the others. He's someone that thinks differently and does things differently. He's someone that is the odd one out in a meeting. So I want you to name one misfit that you admire and why.
Okay, with the explanation, what you gave as a misfit, considering a misfit as my child or a daughter or son, obviously I cannot, ditch or reject or be harsh. So as a mother or as a woman, I have to really I should have more patience, first of all, to handle or adapt whatever the quality, the misfit as my child has, whatever the adverse or the negative kind of characters. So I have to first adapt that and accept the fact, then try to educate or explain each and every situation, how that attitude can be changed or the behavior can be changed for the misfit. So that's how I think I would try to handle or educate and motivate and change a person to become fit. Thank you.
Now, all of us know that children are always different from all of us. They are, in some ways, misfits. They are different, they think differently, and I'm pretty confident that each of us have been in that position before, although you refuse to accept it. So now I'd like to move on to the next speaker for today, and it'll be Orojit. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. It's I think it's fine, right? Yeah. I'm not going to try to pronounce it again. So now we're going to move on to the next topic, and your topic will be, if you had the chance to retire today, what would you do for the rest of your life? I repeat, if you had the chance to retire today, what would you do for the rest of your life?
If I have a chance to, am I audible first of all?
Absolutely.
Yeah. If I have a chance to retire, what will I do? I would definitely like to do something which I enjoy. And you don't have to wait for your retirement to start doing things. You don't have to wait for retirement to become exceptionally devoted or devotional or religious. You don't have to be retired to pursue whatever you like to do. So the things I love to do is interacting with a lot of people, having conversations, engaging them. And we live in a wonderful world today where we have the opportunity to interact with so many people staying within the precincts of your house. So recently I started something called the Toast the Toss. It's a chat show for cricket fans, and they are all from District 92, and we are trying to reach out to other people. So this is something I really enjoy, discussing sports. And the other thing I would like to do, if I get retired full time, I would write more poetry and my thoughts about it. So these are the things, and also make a network of poets and try to make the world fit for misfits, or make a world where misfits are appreciated. Thanks.
Thank you, Orojit, for such an amazing table topic. You have left me stupefied. I hope I pronounced that right. I think it was absolutely delightful the way you went about things. And I believe that each of us are sports fans in some way or another. And I think all of us would love to play a sport in case if we had the opportunity to retire today. But retirement is not something, you can never retire from your life, as you already know. You can retire from your job, but you cannot retire from your life. And I think that's something I managed to learn from you today. Now we'd like to move on to the next speaker for today. And I would like to pick, the general evaluator for today, Raj. So are you ready for it?
Yes, am I audible?
Absolutely. So your question is, what is the boldest act you've ever performed and how proud are you of it? Let me repeat. What is the boldest act you've ever performed and how proud are you of it?
Since you associated the pride with that act, so I have to be slightly more cautious on that. So thank you, Table Topic Master, for that wonderful topic. The boldest act I have performed ever on stage, because it has to be public act, right, is doing push-ups on stage. And I say bold because it was the audience of 100 people, of all my relatives, friends. And I did a competition with my brother, saying we are going to compete against both of us and see who does the maximum. And I was so sure that I will beat him in terms of push-up, that when it became 25 each is where I was really struggling whether I will make it or not, because he was also not giving up. But then somewhere I think he thought that let Rajkumar win today, it's his day. So he gave up and I continued till 30, and people thought I'll do 50, but I stopped at 30. So that was the boldest act. And I'm really proud because the fact that I could pull it off. And by the way, I was gymming quite well and I was doing push-ups. I was very confident of doing it. And I had planned in my mind that I will do this act with my brother. He was not aware, but I was very sure that I will do it. And what it did also to me is that if you are working on something which you're proud of, and I was proud of my push-ups at that point in time, demonstrate it, show it to the world that you've really made value out of it. And the day I did it in public really gave me confidence that I can be bold on stage, I can be genuine, and I can be appreciated and acknowledged by my friends and relatives alike. So that to me is the boldest act. And I have pictures for that to say that, yes, it was an act which I'm really proud of today. Thank you so much. And back to you, Table Topic Master.
So that was absolutely brilliant, the way you went about expressing yourself on a topic that means a lot to you. And I think even I've been in such positions before. And I remember the time when I started going to the gym. And I also remember the time before I started going to the gym. So before I started going to the gym, I would never show myself to everybody. And that's not because I was not fit, but rather it's because I just didn't feel the need to show myself to everybody. I didn't think I was, that good looking. But when I started going to the gym, I got ripped and I started showing myself, each and every one of them, on what I look like exactly. Most conspicuous person in the room. And that's exactly what each of us want to be anyway. And that will be our last table topic for today. But I promise this won't be the last you see of us. So I suggest each and every one of you to click on this link to join our WhatsApp group if you haven't done it already, so that you can join more meetings in the future and have fun with us. Thank you. And back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Table Topics Master Adarsh. It was beautifully organized table topic session with some wonderful topics. This is because misfits do not only are limited to the humans. The light in my room, the mirror, the washroom is a complete misfit to the work from home environment. And it's impossible to turn the video on while standing when it gets dark. So moving on to the next section, which is the evaluation round, where we would be evaluated as how we perform. Every role takers would be judged on certain criteria, and to give us the right evaluation, I want to call upon
Thank you so much, Bidhu, for that wonderful introduction once again. And let me correct that I'm not going to judge anyone. I'm going to evaluate everyone. And am I not audible?
You're audible.
Okay. So I'm going to evaluate everyone. And the difference between these two is judging is of the past performance. Evaluate is basically feedback for the future. So all my feedback would be towards improvement for the future as well. But before I begin, I would like to call upon my two individual evaluators who would give their evaluation for the speeches. May I invite the evaluator for speaker one, Sushma.
Thank you, General Evaluator, distinguished Toastmaster Raj. My dear speaker, why should I call you speaker? Toastmaster Sushma, I hope you're here. I can't see your smiling, confident face. Yes, okay, I can. How did I miss that smile? What a wonderful experience it was listening to you, Sushma. And, it's not just the essay and suddenly this, even giving the speech, you started with a lot of energy. And having an energetic start is what can make a really good impression when you walk into a stage, when you start a speech. So I think you're really confident, and your voice, the way you deliver, you're an assertive person. You are quite convincing. You're very comfortable with the audience. Your voice and the way you pronounce is very clear and crisp. I found it very funny when you came to, talking about passive aggressive, about people being very passive and then going. I was having a good laugh listening to that. I was like wondering whether I am that, but then I don't go behind and backbite, I'm not sure. But I loved how you finally came to talking about your style, which was the most important essence of the project. You are a great speaker, you're very comfortable. Now, how can we make it better? So the thing is, I've noticed that, your eye was going below. So that means if you can slightly work with your camera angle, like if you can hold, see, I'm walking around, but I'm still looking at you, right? You can see me. So if you can make sure that you're at the eye level, it can really make a big difference in connecting with the audience, because we are also disconnected and we don't have any attention span. So it's so important. The other thing is, how can you take the same speech and just rework it a little bit to make it more impactful? So every time you went from first category and then an example, second category, an example. How about you just twist it? You say the example first. So you try it more like a conversational style, like more like storytelling, where you actually use voice modulation to enact or talk about that example, where you are those two characters, probably a manager or so on. And then you say, this is so-and-so style. Because what happens is, when it becomes where like 1, 2, 3, and it becomes more like, a classroom kind of delivery. So you just have to take the same content, just reverse it. The other thing is pausing. You were pausing a lot, but if you say on, everyone, or if you said situation demands, it should be situation demands. So some words, if you can look at, I would say evaluate yourself by listening to you and maybe rework on a few pauses. I am sure you can just brilliantly just, upgrade your delivery because your speech is good. But always go back and evaluate yourself and look at how effectively were you able to communicate more of your personal story. So if you can bring a little more of your personal story, it would be great. But your ending was brilliant. Your message was brilliant, and you really left an impact on the audience. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Vandana, for that exhaustive evaluation. I don't have to add anything to that other than only one small input for Sushma is maybe because of the connectivity, I'm not sure. The facial expressions and the gestures and the words were not in sync. And there could be a lag. But if it is not because of that, then I would like you to talk about, for example, you said over to you, Toastmaster of the day, right? And you just say over to you. Your hands were here, but you're saying over to you. You should say over to you, right? So your hand should match the words as if you're on stage. There's a small change in the way you do it, but it's also possible that I didn't pick it because of the network connectivity issues. But other parameters, feedback, what I liked about you, Sushma, is that your speech was coming from the heart. You internalized it, you felt about it, and therefore it came out very clearly. You didn't take help of any notes. I didn't think that you took help of any notes. And you had a conviction in what you were saying. And somewhere I saw that you personalized it as well. So some of these elements of good speech was there in your speech. Personalization, self-conviction, not using notes, and using gestures significantly. Just the alignment part is the only small input there. Thank you so much, Sushma, for the wonderful speech. A round of applause for her. And if I were to evaluate the evaluator, that is a very difficult thing for me to do. I think you are absolutely crisp, exhaustive, positive. You demoed how it can be done better. The only thing I would like to add, Vandana, when you give an evaluation is that it is your opinion. For example, you said you give an example and then the style. That's your opinion. It need not be the way of delivering a speech. Sushma should not feel that, oh, that is the way to give a speech. No, that's one of the ways of giving a speech. That's the only input for you. Otherwise, fantastic evaluation for Sushma. A round of applause for both these people, Sushma and Vandana. Let's move on to the next evaluator. I know I'm not pausing enough, but the time is like pushing me hard. Milind, over to you. Can we be crisp in your evaluation, please? Over to you.
Speech is like a love affair. Any fool can start it, but to end it requires considerable skill. My speaker, Toastmaster Joseph, like a true lover, you started with a bang, with that conversation. My son, what happened to you? And then your response. And then, like a true lover, you ensured all through your meeting, through your speech, you continued that passion in you. And we, the audience, who were the lovers, really got hooked to your speech. Aristotle said, to have a great structure of a speech, there has to be 3 ingredients. Number 1 is ethos. Your lover, the audience, need to believe that you are trustworthy, that you have locus standi or the right to talk on that subject, and that you have a good faith. You need to believe in audience. The audience has to believe in you. By narrating your personal story, you establish your credential with details, facts, and explanation all throughout your 30 minutes, 16 seconds of your speech. So that credentials were proved trustworthy. Number two ingredient which is there in a good structured speech is the logic of your speech or logos. You had a message at the end, leap of faith. When everything fails, have faith. And to come to that we're hooked to that. And the third point which is there, structure, is ethos. That is emotion. Yes, you viewed your story with emotional things of your life, threatening challenges with your voice modulation. Now, coming to areas where I feel you can work on, this is my personal feeling, you may just consider. Number one, camera angle. Just have a look at the video recording when you get it. And voice modulation. You did a fantastic job in bits and pieces, but you can consider having consistency in your entire speech. Like one area when you said, the great day came. However, that was a very flat one. And regarding to challenge yourself, you can connect with the Zoom master beforehand regarding the voice audio check, as well as regarding the presentation when you want. Full speech is not diluted. Otherwise, fantastic speech. It was a real keynote speaker. Just consider those keynote points which I shared with you over to the general evaluator.
Thank you, Milind, for that wonderful evaluation. Let me say it was very crisp and brief. Thank you so much. Let me quickly add on to what Milind said to speaker Joseph. What I liked about your speech was your conviction. You believed in something and you shared that belief with all of us, and your conviction got transmitted to us. And that's the power of storytelling. It was a personal story, and we were actually gripped with what is happening and what next and what next. That's the beauty of storytelling. So very nicely done. The second thing was about your gestures, your words were all in sync. So I could connect with when you are saying something, the miracle, the power. It was not out of place. It was completely aligned. That shows the quality of a speaker that you have become by being on this Toastmaster journey for some time now. You had a very sharp opening, and that got us hooked. Opening might be very important, as well as the closing. And I think, Joseph, you did it right. Beautiful work there. Of course, some of the inputs of Milind is there, eye contact, and I think that is definitely on. If I were to work on some of the things, was that while you had this message called leap of faith, it came at the very fag end. Somewhere I was not sure whether it's a story or whether there's a message behind the story. The message came at the very end. What you can do perhaps is get this message in the middle of the story as well. So my dear friends, with the leap of faith, I went there. With the leap of faith, after 2 weeks, I was thinking, shall I not? I was doubting, but I had a leap of faith and I still went there. So if you can insert these 1 or 2 lines of a message, the message will really get heightened with the audience. Otherwise, it just becomes a story without a message. People are left guessing. So what is it that you're talking about? Is I talking about miracles? I talking about a healing? I talking about leap of faith? I talking about something called religious? People are confused. Remove the confusion in the minds of people, saying, I'm talking about a message called leap of faith. However, I think if I were to look at overall thing, I was really happy with the way you story told this entire thing. But comfortable, you were real, natural, and with that, thank you so much for sharing your personal story. A round of applause for Joseph. And Milind, I have to give a feedback that you were very crisp and to the point, but there are a couple of things which I want Milind to work on, and it's also true for other evaluators, is that when you're reading the guideline for the speaker, you don't need to read about the clarity and all those parameters. That is not meant to be read to the audience. The audience looks at a speech as a whole. It's my job as an evaluator to look at those elements, whether it was clear, that there was a message in it. It's my job as an evaluator to highlight it. Let the audience be consuming the speech as a whole and not get the mechanics of the speech. As an I don't talk about it, not only Milind, but anybody who's playing the role tomorrow or day after. Don't talk about the details of the parameter. The other thing which Milind you must do is that you must call out if there's any message you want to give it to the speaker. I felt that while you evaluated the speech, but somewhere you skimmed the feedback for some reason. And it is important for you to give the right feedback. I know Milind very well. To give the feedback because the speaker has to get the maximum value out from you. So maybe take it offline to the speaker and share your notes with him. With that, Milind, thank you so much for being very crisp and brief. Round of applause for Milind and Joseph together. Okay, we come to the three main speakers, and then I'll come to the tag team. I know they are thinking, when is my role going to come? You're timing everyone, therefore their role is not yet come. Let me go to the start. Now the meeting started on time, but what I found, the agenda was there, but the agenda and the meeting were actually not in alignment. So it was supposed to be TTM and then pet speakers, but the actual app was different. Some of the names were missing. So for people who are new to club, like a guest, and they look at the agenda, they are lost. So maybe if it requires a change agenda, change it and then recirculate with the people. That will help a guest like us, right? Sergeant at Arms Sushma, you were fabulous. And as I say, you were clear, concise, you welcome TMOD, you were absolutely natural. I'm just admiring that you're very natural. You must just work on your gestures alignment that I told you. Otherwise, fantastic job as an essay. Keep it short. Essay has to be not more than 1 minute. In your mind, you must think 1 minute is what I have. That's it. President Mayur, I think you were very genuine, and I thought that this was the first presidential address after Deepa probably exited last term, and I could see that. But you started well with saying, "How are you doing?" I mean, we all taken aback. We're just thinking you'll get along with the speech. You said, "How are you doing?" I said, "Oh, really?" So good job done there. You talked about the theme called Misfit. Very well done. You give examples to highlight the points. Examples always amplify the point. Great job done. The opening part, I opened this meeting, was a bit delayed. Should have been at the start. You come to that lecture, I open the meeting about and then get on with the meeting. So please use some symbolic gestures like I open the meeting like this. That becomes an issue. Your video and audibility was an issue for me, so I'm assuming it was my issue, so I'm just leaving it there. You talked about the Olympics on table topics. I didn't get the context as a guest. Is it a club event? Is it a district event? I didn't know. And the video which you was played by Deepa was not audible to me, at least. So that was something which I would like you to work prior to that. If it is only my issue, then you can just forget this feedback about the video audibility and all that. I'll come to Deepa as a joke master. Deepa, the jokes were very funny. They were very real, very genuine. And I felt that I must lie properly. In terms of when I'm lying, I should lie properly. About the boxer example. See, some of these examples stick. Right? The boxer example, very nicely done. So I have nothing more to give it to you as a feedback. Great job done. Let's applaud Deepika for being a wonderful joke master. TMOD, Bidhu, you have been absolutely fabulous. Let me tell you that I have seen many TMODs or MCs. You would be in my top 10 list of my entire 20 years in Toastmasters. And I say this for 3 reasons. One is you have your lines very clear what you're going to speak. Yes, you stood up and you came down, but you sat again and you explained why you sat. So as long as the audience is not left guessing, saying thak gaya hoga, it's not that. Something else was the reason. So you were on the buzzer, you had a cracking start, you were relevant, you talked about the Branson flight, the Virginia Atlantic. The relevancy is very critical in Toastmasters. People can immediately connect. You did the space movement. We could connect. You're talking about Branson, the space flight. Good job done. You talked about the misfit. You defined the term. Very important. You defined the term for the people. I have a lot of positives for you, Bidhu. I can give you offline. You explained the roles. Our counter was not clear, so you asked him to write on the screen. See, these are examples of how a good MC can ensure an audience gets the full value of the meeting, even though one role taker could not do for various reasons because of audio connection and all that. But you just supplemented that. That's the role of an MC. Brilliantly done. You talked about the various introductions, all positives. Maybe a couple of areas. Does it remind you something? You say, yeah. And that you've got the audience book. Some amount of engagement through a Q&A would really help you. The second thing was on your introduction to Joseph. I thought could have been slightly lesser than what you did because he is taking a speech here. If he was doing a keynote in some event, then your introduction was perfect. But he's doing a speech in Toastmasters, and don't keep introduction more than 30 seconds to maximum. Okay, that's the other input. Otherwise, great job, Bidhu. A round of applause for that wonderful emceeing by Bidhu. You must go in for right. Right, Adarsh?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So Adarsh, I loved the way you did it. Your topic was on the buzzer. Brilliant topics. Not easy, but at the same time interesting as well. You used the word of the day, stupefied. Well, I was stupefied with the topics you had given to me. I hope I'm using it right, Grammarian. So you seem confident, nice topic, and you are also talking about the learning aspect of it. Maybe somewhere, I think you should not give topics, in my opinion, again, who are not on video. Encourage people to come on video if they want to speak. Master Adarsh. Now I will call upon my 3 role takers, tag team, and the listener. So timer, your report, please. Over to you.
Good evening once again. So here's the report from timer role. So speaker 1, Toastmaster Sushma, has taken 7 minutes 3 seconds, and the evaluator for Sushma has taken 3 minutes 22 seconds. Speaker 2, Toastmaster Joseph sir, has taken 13 minutes 16 seconds, and the evaluator for the Joseph sir has taken 3 minutes 25 seconds. For the table topic session, all are qualified except Toastmaster Rani. This was a short report from me. Back to you on General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Chetana, for that crisp but super crisp report. I would love you to give time or time taken by myself. I may have taken more time than allocated to me. TMOD's time. What about SAS time? What about Jokemaster's time? Everybody's time is on the agenda, if I'm not wrong. So please give a plan versus actual report in future. But the fact that you were tracking time, huge round of applause for that diligent work done by Chetana. Thank you so much. Let's go to our counter, Mr. Aakash, Toastmaster Aakash.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. So thank you and good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I felt stupefied because of the R counter rule. I couldn't count many of the R's or any other catchwords from many of the speakers today. So first, I would like to call out the names of people whom I couldn't find any catchwords or fillers. First is Toastmaster Deepa as Jokemaster. I couldn't find any impedance in her speech. Toastmaster Bidhu and DTM Milind and speaker to Joseph sir and table topic speaker Jyoti and table topic speaker Christopher. I couldn't find any crutchwords or anything from them. For the so I could see that few of the speakers were using R as a filler sound kind of. So, but that didn't actually affect their speech. Overall, I could see that they were taking good, having good attraction to the speak. Their speech was doing good. So yeah, just to make sure you know that. So I could see a table topic speaker Rani and Arjit using "a" sometimes, and there was a few speakers who used "and" repetitively, like Mayur, Kumar sir. I heard one time you used that, and Arjit also. Yeah, that is the account report from my side today. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Aakash, for that wonderful try, I would say. Account role is a very difficult role to keep really engaged with the audience, not easy throughout 1.5 hours. We often mind wanders. So thank you so much for that detailed report. Maybe next time when you're doing this work, a couple of things I would recommend. One is get mentoring done on this exact role. For example, you could say Rashpa Bansal, short pauses, long pauses, ahs, anums, and crutch words. Just give a number and put on the screen as a share screen. If you have a Zoom, right? You need to share a screen so we can all see it together in one shot. So that's something which you can do. The other thing is that you may also clarify why these are important to note, because they are impediments in the speech. If you give the why part of your role, the people will understand and be cautious. So that a good work done. A round of applause for our pointer. We'll go to Grammarian Hitendra. Hitendra, for your report, please.
Thank you, General Evaluator. I was stupefied with what I heard today. All the speakers, wow, just amazing. It was a great experience here attending the Speech Viewers Club meeting today. Coming to my role, maybe I was lost in some of the speeches listening to all of you and I'm miscapturing something. But let me first start with the word of the day users. TMOD, Bidhu, General Evaluator Rajkumar used it twice. TMOD Bidhu used it once. Counter Aakash. Then speaker, special kudos to speaker Joseph, who used the word of the day in his speech. It's generally difficult for rear speeches to introduce word of the day or new word in their speech. So that's a great job done there. And table topic master Adarsh also used the word of the day. Now, coming to the good usages, there were a lot of good usages, phrases, words used, but I will keep it short to some key ones. The stick to your passions. Then God helps only those who help themselves. Amazing. Leap of faith. Great. Then, as long as I feel happy, I don't care about the word. That's really great message coming out, and a new learning for all of us. In Arabic, Joseph is called Yusuf. So that's a new learning in this session. That's about the good usage and new learnings. Coming to some of the wrong usages, there was plural use lives. It should have been lives. Then it was said that it is very much important. So very and much are not needed. You can just say it is very important. There was another sentence used. It had shown impact on me. I think it would have been easily said as it has impacted me. Another usage was he had even had an opportunity. So it could have been easily he even had an opportunity. One more thing, when you call out like I and my daughter, there was one usage in one of the speeches. It should have been my daughter and I. Then and one more thing, when you're talking in past tense, there was a usage called before I go. It should have been before I went. One mistake which probably all of us do is when using neither nor or either or. There was a usage where in the speech a person said neither nor and is not. Right? So it should have been neither nor and is. It should have been the not was not needed. That negates the effect of neither nor. Then somebody said he also is. It should have been he is also. Having an energetic start. It should have been having an energetic start. And the last one to call out is some of these elements was in the speech. It should have been some of these elements were in the speech. That's from the Grammarian, Hitendra. Thank you all.
Hitendra, I was just listening to you and I'm absorbing. My God, we have a Renan Martin in this club. And let me tell you, Hitendra, you are an asset to this club and to Toastmasters in general, because such an exhaustive report. Two things stood out for me. One is you are so much happy and passionate about what you're doing. You took your role so seriously. And this is for all of us who take our roles, right? You must demonstrate the passion, the kind of words you picked up, the kind of good and bad usages he picked up without taking the names. Key is don't take the names. And he did it beautifully. And he gave the answer to it also. It's just not picking faults, but giving solutions. And that is called evaluation, as I mentioned. Evaluation is not about finding faults. That is called criticism. This feedback for the future, it always has to have what can I do to improve it. So thank you so much, Hitendra. I would love to have you as my grammarian as well. Please, club members, note this. Use Hitendra or ask for his services for your speeches. He is fabulous. Hitendra, you really adore me. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you.
With that, we come to the end of the entire evaluation. I hope nobody is left out. Let me know if anybody is left out. Any role taker? No? Okay. Thank you.
Listener.
The question.
So listener, can you please get that name? Varsha.
Yeah. Thank you, General Evaluator. So now it's the time for questions. So let's begin. What are the types of communication styles?
Three.
Assertive, passive.
Three types.
Four. There are four. Come on. Assertive, passive,
aggressive,
authoritative,
aggressive, passive aggressive.
Political.
It's assertive. Assertive, aggressive, passive and aggressive, and last. Okay. Sushma comes under which category of communication style?
Assertive.
No, passive. Okay. Okay. What is the speaker two's topic? What was the topic? Come on, it's not a tough question.
Leap of faith.
Leap of faith.
Yeah. Where a doctor fails and dividing interviews. Okay. Then, okay. Where did Joseph Sir go in the year 2009 with his daughter?
Johannesburg.
Yes. Okay. How many days activity was the healer's school scheduled for?
3 weeks.
Yes. Okay. What did the pastor said at the end of the process?
You are healed.
Yes. Then, okay. What are the two qualities of Jyoti?
Compassionate and generous.
Yes, it's generosity and compassionate. Okay. What was the opportunity Christopher took in a Toastmasters club? What was the rule?
President.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. What Orianjit wants to do for when he is full-time retired?
Poetry.
Yes. Okay. What was the boldest act on stage did by our general evaluator, Raj?
Push up.
You're helping them, sir.
No,
Yeah.
I was asking, can I respond?
Okay. These are the questions. Yeah.
Thank you. A round of applause for Varsha for being attentive and making us all attentive as well. I'm sure all the speakers also feel good about it, isn't it? When this gets called out, that people listen to that. Thank you so much. And with that, back to TMOD Bidhu.
Thank you. Thank you, General Evaluator Bansal, sir, and all the other evaluators. Your evaluation is something which pushes us to improve every single meeting after meeting. So now I really hope you enjoyed in the last 1.5 hours of this meeting. And there's a voting link being sent in the chat box by Table Topic Masters Adarsh. Please go to the link and vote for your favorite speakers for today and give us the feedback so that we act on your feedback as well. And while you guys do that, I would like to bid goodbye and give my own take with respect to Misfits. And I would personally like to say that we are all misfits in certain situations. Sometimes we are the ones who feel misfit in a particular situation. And sometimes we see someone else is actually not fitting into our created environment. So what we can do is, if we find ourselves as a misfit, let us take one step further in explaining our point of view. And if we find someone else, he or she, feeling a misfit, let us lend an ear of comfort and stretch our minds to understand their point of view as well, because we are nothing without each other. With this, I would like to hand over the stage to our president. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Bidhu, for taking us through the Misfit journey today. It was a great experience hearing you and listening wonderful speeches of our Toastmaster Joseph sir and Toastmaster Sushma. Now, I would like to, as I announced in earlier, that tomorrow we will be having table topic Olympics. That is the collaboration between Speech Your Toastmaster Club and Afterburner Toastmaster Club. So we will have table topic sessions in that event, and table topics will be given in order of difficulty from easy to easy, medium to difficult level. Please join us tomorrow from 7 to 9 p.m. and you might have registration link also shared in the chat box. I would like to thank our guest who has joined us today, Toastmaster Jyoti, Toastmaster Rani, JP, our general evaluator of today, Toastmaster Raj sir, Christopher, and all the other guests who have left us in between. Please do vote for your best role taker and speakers today, as the voting link has already been shared by Toastmaster Adarsh. Adarsh, are you getting votes?
Yes, I'm getting a few votes. I think we have a total of 11 responses. We have 18 people in the room, so please hurry up and get your votes casted.
Can Mayur, can I have help of somebody voting for me?
Okay.
I cannot vote myself.
Okay, so Adarsh, what you can do is you can count his vote to himself as he wants. So whatever votes you received for Joseph sir, add one more vote for him. With that, I would like to. What is the status, Adarsh?
We have about 11 even now.
Okay.
Can I go ahead and announce the results, or shall we?
Yeah, you can announce the result then.
All right, then. So let's start off with the first role, which is the best supporting role. And I wouldn't say it's too tight, but at the same time, I wouldn't say it isn't. So the winner is the Jokemaster, Toastmaster, Deepa. Deepa has been voted as the best supporting role taker. Now we are moving on to the next one, which is the best role taker. And this will go to the general evaluator for today, which is DTM Bansal. Please give him a round of applause. Now, for the best auxiliary role taker, we have the Grammarian, Toastmaster Hitendra, who is absolutely brilliant in delivering a well-crafted Grammarian report. And as for the best table topic speaker, the winner is DTM Bansal once again. And as for the best evaluator, now this will go to Toastmaster Vandana. Toastmaster Vandana, you did a wonderful job. And for the best speaker, which is the final one, now this is, we had to find out because we are split here, to be honest. I think it's split between Toastmaster Sushma and Toastmaster Joseph. I don't think there's any way to find out who the winner is. But going by what Mayur said, I think I have to hand it to Toastmaster Joseph. But I think it wouldn't be bad in case if we gave it to the both of them.
I think give it to both of them as joint winners. Please do that.
I think, yeah, I think that's how we're going to go about this. The winner is Toastmaster Sushma as well as Toastmaster Joseph, sir. Wonderful job, everyone.
Thank you so much, Adarsh, for doing voting master. And I congratulate all the winners of the meeting 622